What are those white lines on the road before an intersection with a traffic light? Let me show you what I mean in case you're not familiar with driving around too much. This is an intersection in Charlottesville, Virginia. This is the intersection of Barracks Road and Emmett Street. So Emmett Street is running from lower left to upper right, and Barracks Road is going across from upper left to lower right. So to give you a little more bearings, here's the Barracks Road Shopping Center, and here's the Bank of America, and here's ALC Copies. Now, it really doesn't matter that you know this. I'm just pointing this out in case you're wondering, what intersection is that? So now you can kind of see that. So I want to focus on that solid white line before the intersection. Let me show you what I mean. Let me fade everything else out and focus on one lane of traffic. So here's the lane of traffic, and that's the solid white line right there in the yellow circle. So what's that solid white line for? Well, I asked a student about this in driver's ed, and they said, their instructor said, that when a car is approaching the intersection, if the car is next to the white line, go right through the light. If the car is outside the white line, they should slow down. And so I was wondering if that kind of made sense. So basically, here's what they're saying. That white line is kind of a dividing line. As you're approaching the intersection, if the white line's next to you, just drive on through the intersection, no problem. So you make it right through the intersection. But if the white line's not right next to you, then you should stop. So what I was wondering was, is there, is that really accurate explanation of what's going on? So for this problem, to investigate the purpose of the white line, you're going to be able to choose any intersection within a mile of the school when you're working on this problem. The school's address you're going to need to know is 2775 Hydraulic Road, Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, before we get too involved in this, though, I'm going to get your input on some things to see where you want to go with this. So there's a link on the board to go look at, and I want you to answer this question. So you go to the link, and then you can answer this question. The question is, the speed limit on the left side of the intersection is 35 miles per hour. There is not a sign on the right side of the intersection. So here's the intersection, there's the speed limit sign. No sign on the right. The question is, what is the speed limit on the right side of the intersection if there isn't a sign there? So go to the link that's on the board. At the link, you'll enter a question, reload the page, and if you want to, you can enter another question. And you can do this as many times as you want to enter as many questions as you need to. And you're asking questions in order to answer this question. What do you need to know to calculate how fast a car can travel in order to stop before reaching the intersection? In other words, when it's at that black dotted line that I showed earlier on the intersection, what do you need to know in order to figure out how quickly the car can stop before the intersection? Okay, moving on. Here's a little useful tool you might find helpful. Hint, useful tool. freemaptools.com/measure-distance.html. HTM. This is just a nice little, gives you a little satellite image, and then you can make measurements on top of any type of satellite image, and you can zoom in. Here's the short address, which is goo.goal6 capital G capital O lowercase h. Got to get this uppercase and lowercase right, and that'll also take you to the same place, just a shorter address. So at the website, it's going to allow you to measure the length of anything on the map, and you need to read the directions at the bottom of the page to figure out how to use this little device to measure distances.